Hi, so welcome to the fourth video. In this video, we'll talk about Vedic period. Just like Harappan civilization, Vedic period is also very important. Every year from here also we are getting 1 to 2 questions. Some year we even getting 2 questions. Okay, so that's why ये part बहुत अच्छे से करना है. Look, if you wish to do 2 questions from ancient India, तो ये दो topics अच्छे से करो. Indus Valley civilization and Vedic period. These two are very important. So the format will be the same. So if we see the syllabus, talks about the coming of the Aryan and the beginning of the Vedic period. Then you see their expansion in India because these people did not came in one go. एक बारी में नहीं आए. There was series of migration. Okay, so that's something we need to understand. Then we talk about their religion, philosophical literature. Because Vedas में सबसे ज़्यादा important क्या है? We see the beginning of literature as a source of history. Before them, we are just depending upon archaeology. Okay, so from here we see the beginning of literature in Indian history. Then transformation from Rig Veda to later Veda in various spheres like political, economic and social. यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन क्या आता है? There is always comparison of early Vedic period with later Vedic period or independent literature based question. These are the two categories of question which are very important from Vedic period. Then we can see the overall significance and evolution of monarchy and Varna system, because majority of our social institutions that we are having in today's society, they have come from Vedic periods. With the period of time they have evolved. Okay, जो भी हमारा caste system में India है, that starts from the Varna system. Varna system initially was divided on the basis of color. ठीक है ना, Aryans and non-Aryans, white and blacks. And with the period of time it got linked to birth, and from where we see the beginning of the caste system. Let us see. So if we see the overall trend, we have seen around 27 questions. Okay, 27 question आए हैं हमारे पास. If we see expansion of Aryans in India, 3 questions. Then religious and philosophical literature around 11. Transformation with 6. Then various dimensions, we have seen 6 questions: political, social and economic. And last, if we see about significance, we have 1 question. So this is again a very important topic, just like Indus Valley civilization. Just keep it in mind. Okay, so let us see the previous year question. So evaluate the views regarding human settlements as gleaned from the Vedic sources. So there are controversies with respect to the human settlements. Some say they were having cities, some say they were only just villages. So we have G.S. Gurei who has come up with certain research on that. Okay, he had read और उसके बीच में कहाँ पुर यूज किया हुआ है एक्सेट्रा. तो वो काफ़ी सारे वर्ड्स के बेसिस पे they are trying to interpret कि were there cities or not. Similarly, we need to understand about the early Vedic period, the settlements under them, as well as the later Vedic period, the settlement during the later period. Alright, then discuss the geographical area known to the Vedic people. Were they familiar with the sea? So again, similar kind of question, geography के बारे में, early Vedic and later Vedic. Then account of geography, so same kind of question. Then we can see, do you consider Upanishad principle as the epitome of the Vedic thought? So that is same question which came in 2014 itself. Same question 2021 में repeat हुआ. It means doing previous year question pays off. Okay, we'll be starting a course for previous year question very shortly. We'll notify you regarding the same. But if you're doing it on your own also, make sure you're taking the cue from the previous year question, and on the basis of that, you're preparing specifically. Okay, so these questions are always going to remain relevant till the time civil service देना है. Then we see, throw light on the nature of religion and the classification of gods mentioned in the Rig Veda. So there are various categories of gods which are mentioned. Most prominent was Indra, Varuna, Agni. All these are important gods. Then we see Puranas were the innovative genre of literature. So when we talk about Puranas, so Puranas, if you know the chronology, if we see Vedic period, we see the rise, after that we see the rise of Buddhism and Jainism. That's why Vedic religion was getting kind of less favor from the patronage of the political class. And then we see the rise of Puranas. They were innovative genre of literature to popularize and revive Vedic religion. Elaborate with examples. Okay, so you need to understand the relationship between these two. Last question is more or less same, because very good ideas they have come from Upanishad. Like we have Satyamev Jayate, right, from Mundaka Upanishad. Similarly, Chandogya Upanishad, Brihanka Upanishad. All of them, they have so good ideas. So you need to understand them. तो आपकी personal life भी अच्छी हो जाएगी, as well as UPSC में भी marks आने लग जाएंगे. Okay. Then evaluate the conceptual basis of the Vedic society. So how they conceptualized or how they imagined the gods and goddesses that they were having. Some of them, they were from the ether, some from the terrestrial gods. So different types of gods were there. And need to understand the approaches to understand Vedic ritual, literature, Vedic gods of the terrestrial region they are asking, right? And then we see development of religious side and rituals, and similarly position of Varuna. Okay, so if we see in the early Vedic system, at the top we had Indra, then we had Agni, and last we had the Varuna. So वो क्वेश्चन पूछ लिया. Then when we talk about transformation, so they always ask from Rig Veda to later Veda, like position of women, position of egalitarian character of system. Okay, so all these questions, like, and one very important question which is a debate also, to what extent Varna system was followed by the society. We all know that there were Varna system, Brahmana, Kshatriya, then we have Vaishya, and we have the Shudras. But to what extent these four categories they were working में इसके आसपास में था या नहीं था. That's why the Varna Ashram Dharma के ऊपर काफी concept question आते हैं, and this is with respect to overall ancient history rather than just Vedic period. Okay. Then we see describe the social life of later Vedic period. How was it different from Rig Vedic? Simple comparison. Elements of change and continuity in the early and later, and then democratic features in the political system. So we know about the Sabha, Samiti, Vidhata, Gana. All those, they were assemblies, one for the one or the other purpose. Like Sabha, it was the assembly of elders. Then we have Samiti for the commoners, Vidhata for distributing the war booty. Okay, Gana in specific republics. So all such questions. Then if you see archaeology knows of no Aryan, only literature know of Aryan. So majority of what we know about Aryans from our literature, that's not any kind of debate with respect to that. But we cannot say कि archaeology zero है. That is not something which is correct. तो हमें वही बस arguments provide करने हैं. Then we see the sacrifice as a ritual and a form of social exchange in Vedic period. So with respect to religion, there is a lot of concepts like sacrifice. Okay, sacrifice as a ritual. So what all of us understand, at the time of sacrifices, we give dan and dakshina to the sadhu or the brahman, and eventually at that point of time when we were not having money, अभी तो क्या होता है दक्षिणा में money दे देते हैं, right? And the brahmana is free to buy whatever he wishes to. But previously they used to get in the form of कि भाई चावल दे दिए. Now the person does not like चावल, उसे गेहूं चाहिए. So that person can go to the market and exchange it for the wheat. ठीक है ना, कि wheat ले लिया वापस. So that's we need to understand as a social exchange. Then we brief account of social and economic conditions. Then we see formulation of social system in later Vedic period, position of women, discuss the political pattern. So questions are not that much difficult. Only thing is you need to know the priority. We are going to provide you PDFs also for these sessions. उनको भी आप print कर सकते हैं. You can understand the priority for yourself. Okay, as well as the contribution of Vedic culture in the sphere of social institutions and religions. So all the social institutions that you see, चाहे वो with respect to marriage है, education है, okay, or with respect to your religion hai, varna system hai, stratification hai, all of them that we have inherited from the Vedic period. Okay, and then we talk about the continuity, वो पिछले में भी हमने डाल दिया था. When we talk about the sources, so chapter 5 consists of some areas of Vedic period. Now one thing which you need to remember, Upinder Singh is not sufficient for understanding the whole of Vedic period. You should read R.S. Sharma and NCERT along with Upinder Singh. बिकॉज उपिंदर सिंह में सारी चीज़ें अच्छे से नहीं दी हुई हैं. ऑलराइट, द मेजर रिसर्च इस पर नहीं किया. सो वेदा एज ए सोर्स ऑफ हिस्ट्री, दिस वाज आस्क्ड बाय यूपीएससी इन 2015, सो दैट यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड. देन कल्चर रिफ्लेक्टेड इन ऋग्वेदा एंड द लेटर वैदिक टेक्स्ट. बट माइंड इट, मेजोरिटी ऑफ द क्वेश्चन विच आर कमिंग सारे उपिंदर सिंह से नहीं आ रहे हैं विद रिस्पेक्ट टू वैदिक पीरियड, बिकॉज उसको उपिंदर सिंह ने इतना ज़्यादा अच्छे से डिस्क्राइब नहीं कर रखा है. तो रीड एनसीईआरटी, ठीक है ना. इफ़ यू विश टू, तो आप रणबीर चक्रवर्ती से भी वैदिक पीरियड यू कैन रीड वंस if you're preparing on your own. But if you're joining any of the courses like we have foundation, तो उसके लिए आपको जरूरत नहीं है. For that our class notes will suffice. In fact we are even coming up with the postal system. ये एक specifically आपका postal course start हो जाएगा, तो एक हफ्ते के अंदर आपके पास notes पहुंच जाएंगे. But that will take some time. Okay, 1 to 2 months का time लगेगा. We'll notify for that also. Alright. But anyway, इस topic के लिए उपिंदर सिंह is not sufficient. You have to read at least R.S. शर्मा. ठीक है ना. NCERT पढ़ो. अगर थोड़ा सा और डिटेल में जाना चाहते हैं देन गो फॉर रणवीर चक्रवर्ती. देयर इज वन चैप्टर विद रिस्पेक्ट टू वैदिक पीरियड एंड इट इज रिटन वेरी ब्यूटीफुली. ओके, सो इफ वी डू दिस मच we can easily prepare this topic. And again, just like Indus Valley civilization, this is important because of one particular reason, and that is question बहुत आता है, and if you prepare it तो final marks बहुत अच्छे आएंगे. ठीक है, so that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next video. I'll be covering around 50 to 51 videos. ठीक है ना, हर टॉपिक के ऊपर थोड़ा आपको बताता चलूंगा. We'll see the previous question and just like this, I will also see the sources. So all the very best.